Hello explorers and welcome to another video. And today we are doing an update video of day 3 of Advent of Code. And after I released Advent of Code this evening, I got a lot of responses from this wonderful community that we have here, and I would have any of you code review any of my code any day because there were so many good suggestions. We have Aaron and Star Elect that gave me a lot of good suggestions on how I could use modulus instead for my example or my code. And I also had a Johnny 2003 that gave me a solution to the problem with my code, that what I actually had missed in my code. And that's what I want to try out first here. So let's jump over to the code. So we see this here. And Johnny's suggestion was to just add an equal sign here, so it's larger or equal to, then we need to do less of it. And that's pretty much equal to a modulus operation. So I'm pretty sure that this would be the solution. So let's run this again. We had 227, now we have 234. So let's jump over here and try that. 234. Submit. And that was the right one. You get the gold star. I get a gold star. Everybody gets a gold star. So let's look at part 2 here. So let's see. The time to check the rest of the slopes. You need to minimize the probability of a sudden arboreal stop. Arboreal stop. I can't say these words. And now know how they are pronounced, but I just can't do it. Determine the number of trees you would encounter if for each of the following slopes you start at the top left corner and then traverse the map in a way to the bottom. Let's see here. In the above example, these slopes would be 2, 7, 3, 4, 2 trees. Respectively multiplied together, these produce the answer. Okay, so we want to try multiple slopes and then multiply them together. So determine the number of trees you would encounter if each of the following slopes. You start at the top left and traverse. So right 1 down 1, right 3 down 1, right 5 down 1, right 7 down 1, and right 1 down 2. And then multiply them together and you will get different. So for the example we had above, for these different slopes, they would give 336. So let's go over and see if we can get that going for us. That means that if we go back to our we have the puzzle test here, and if we go back to our code, we add the test data again, and we still have the same forest, but we want to reuse the forest multiple times. And the only thing we need to do here is actually reset the values each time. So we need to add a function that we call reset. So let's do that. Public void reset. And reset will set the position of x to 0 and position of y to 0. So that's the reset button. If we go back to our puzzle here, we want to do this for a lot of different slopes, and we want to multiply those together and get the sum of the trees. So we have the multiply trees and 0, and then we will do this for each of these. And I think we can either do this in a for loop, or we can be very lazy and copy this multiple times. And I think as it's just 5 different slopes. I don't think that we need to actually make it harder than it is, and figuring out a good solution with the different slopes here. So let's say that we have the first slope here. This is the first one, this is the second one, and then we will take multiply trees and first off add the trees up here, and then here we will multiply that with the trees, and then we will have a few more of these like that. So it's 5 and 7, so it's 3, 5, 7, and then 1, 2. So these are the different slopes, and then we want to multiply trees and print that out. Let's run this puzzle example. Let's see what we get. And we get index out of bounds. Why do we get that? Is it because the slope is moving outside of the map? Yeah, we need to reset it. Yes, of course. I create the function, but I forget to run it. That's true. So let's do that after each run here. Reset, 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 and reset. I don't think we need to do it for the last one, but let's do that. See if that works. So now we got 336, and that's what I have in their example. So that looks just fine. Let's go over and change over to the real code here and run it again. And that gives us a very large number. Let's see if we can figure this one out. It's 1,518,805,706. That's the answer here. Let's put that in and see if we are right. That was not correct. It was too low. Not good at all, not good at all. So let's go back here and see if we can figure out, because now we should have a working system, and we got the right for the first one. Have we forgotten to reset any of these? No, we have not. Because of the function, I'm pretty sure that we have done that correctly. It must be something that I'm not doing correctly with the multiplication here. We could look into the forest here and try the other solution that was mentioned, and that was to, now we're back to this issue. So if we remove this line here, we could actually do a modulus operation here and get the same effect. Perhaps another result. We'll see. See if we can copy that. Let's try that. Yeah, it's the same result, but a little bit less code. And another suggestion that was made was not to use an int map. I could just use the strings as they are and look for different characters in them, which was also a very good suggestion. But we're still getting this value wrong. That's interesting. We have a lot of issues with this one. Have we figured something wrong here? We can look at these different slopes and we can type those out and see that we get the same numbers as they get for each iteration. Perhaps we have done something wrong with the trees. So let's do it here. We have trees Now perhaps we can do like this. We can do a function that returns the number of trees, which makes it much easier to read. So public int get trees for slope and int y x int y, like that. If you need to do something 5 times, why not make it a function? So like this. So we start by resetting the forest. We have the forest as an input here as well, like that. And then we put in the x and the y value here. And we will return the number of trees. So that's the cleaner solution to this problem here. So then we will have multiply trees. First one we will add, and we will have 1, 1 for that. And then we will have multiply for the rest ones. Let's see, what is the issue here? Borrowed from a static context. Yeah, of course, static. Important to remember. So let's see here, we have 5 of those. Remove some code here, make things easier to read. Like that. So now we have 3, 5, 7, and 1, 2. There. So now we see that we have the same setup here. See if we get a different result. We got the same result. Let's try to, for each of these tree slopes, we add to the function. We want to print the trees. Trees, system out. So now we will print the different trees. Let's go to the test puzzle first off. Let's see what we get. So that gave us 2, 7, 3, 4, 2. 2, 7, 3, 4, 2. So that's the right amount there. But with the real puzzle here, we get that result correctly, because that was what we already checked. And then we got some different results here. Seems like I'm not gonna solve this one either, and I don't really know why. Is it number of trees you would encounter to the bottom? We need to start from the 0, 0, and the puzzle input hasn't changed. I don't know what the problem is here either. It seems correct. And I will not try a third time with the same result. Very strange. If you can see something obvious that I've missed here, I'm very happy to make suggestions, changes to my code. I'm always open for suggestions. And as we have seen before, people in the community are obviously have more time to actually figure these things out, or have really good knowledge about math and so on. Most of the suggestions we got was actually adding helpful math to the problems. Could actually do like that, I believe, and would get same result. Doesn't really matter, but it looks nicer. So if you have any suggestions how to solve this one, leave those in the comment section down below. I hope that you liked this video. Give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. I hope that you learned something today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And I really hope to see you in the next video.